well done. Okay, we're going to get started on our first experiment. This is going to really demonstrate some air pressure. So what we need here is we need a mason jar. We also need a balloon and a paper and a match. So I have all of that. We're going to demonstrate the air pressure experiment. Now, what we are going to do with the balloon is actually fill it up with water. So I'm going to already have this done. So because it does, you want to have your mom and dad help you with this one because it does take a little bit of effort. We want this to be a little bit wider than the jar. Okay, so it needs to be fatter than the actual opening of your mason jar. So what we're going to do is, to demonstrate this, we're going to take a match and a piece of paper. So this is, again, going to need your help from your parents on this one. So we light the match first, and then we light the paper. Put that down, and then we're going to put this inside the mason jar. Okay, so we'll let it go out, and then it's still fiery there. Then we're going to take the balloon and stick it on top. I'm going to wait for it to cool off just a tiny bit more so I don't burst my balloon. Now we're going to put this on top and watch. This is so cool, you guys. We're going to be doing some air pressure with this. What is happening is that we have hot air in the bottom of this jar. So hot air actually rises in the atmosphere. And what happens as it rises, it allows lower pressure to occur here. So this balloon is actually being sucked down into the bottom of this jar as the low pressure helps pull it down. Gravity's also helping, but look at how far down it's already gotten. Now, what do you think about me being able to pull this out? No. Look at that. The air pressure is so low inside the jar that it would take me really a lot of effort to pull this out without bursting the balloon. I can wedge it out eventually once this cools off a little bit more. But again, because of the low pressure, the rising air with this, causing low pressure at the surface. Such a cool experiment, right? So we're creating air pressure experiment. It's allowing this to shake a little bit at the top and it's being sucked down in here. And I just got it out because now it's cooling off a little bit. Okay, cool, huh? Let's try another one. All right, I'm going to slide my next experiment on over here. Now this one, we're actually going to create a cloud in the jar. This one's still a little hot right now. Woo! Again, make sure you have help with your mom and dad. We don't do these kind of experiments in schools because we're not. Okay. What do you want me to do? Okay. All right. We're good to go. I guess we had a little issue with some sound there. So our next one is the cloud in the jar. So I need to go get a couple of ice cubes. I'm going to go grab those right now. We also need some hot water, so I'm running some hot water, not boiling water. I'm just using water out of the tap. We also need a match, and again, we need your parents to help you with this one. Ice cubes, a big mason jar, and then a lid. I'm also using a pot holder. So here's another cool experiment. Are you ready for this? All right, so I'm gonna go get a little bit of hot water and put that in here. So this is gonna be prepped. So hold on. Okay, so I've got my hot water. It's already ready to go in here, and I actually have it on a trivet here or a pot holder because I don't want it to burn the table because it's not that hot, honestly, but it's always just a good precaution. So then we have ice cubes here ready to go as well, and I have the lid from the mason jar. Just simply need this, and then of course the match. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a cloud, okay? And I'll explain what's happening after we get it started. So I light the match, And then I'm going to tip my jar over here a little bit. Let it hold for a moment, getting the jar a little bit hot here. And then I drop it in there, put the lid on top, and then put the ice cubes on top too. So then we're just cooling everything off here. Now we're gonna give this a couple minutes to actually start really working. This isn't too hot, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up. But we have the hot water down below, the cold water up above. So it's going to allow a little bit of clouds that actually you can see them right now. They're forming. Can you see that in there? Lots of clouds already starting to take place here. And with this, we have what's called water vapor. Okay, so it is a gas, and that gas has to stick to a little bit of air particulates and dust. Even in this case, it's the match that is put in here. So we have a little bit of dirt in the air, and that's what we need to form water droplets in the sky to create those clouds. So we can put this down for a moment, and then I'm going to take the lid off. I want you to watch really closely. Here it goes. Woo, check that out. How cool is that? I love it. I'm going to put this behind it so you can see it even better. Can you see that cloud? That is awesome. Okay, so we have the water vapor that's condensing, and that is called condensation. And for the water vapor to condense, it needs something to stick to. And in this case, it's the smoke, it's the match that we have from the fire that I lit. Huh? Pretty cool, right? Pretty simple one to do, but it really is neat to see what how the clouds form in that case when we have a gas that goes into a liquid. And we're going to form some rain here in a few minutes, but we're going to switch over and do a tornado. So that's going to be the next one that we're going to start working on. Now this one, I have a couple different varieties of what you can do. We want to have a couple of tall plastic bottles. And this is a little bit different, a couple different varieties. This slide is showing that we're going to use the water and dish soap. You can do that one as well. But this one is even cooler, the one that I'm going to show you here, because it's going to require an extra piece of equipment. You may not have one of these, and that's okay, because I'm going to show you a different way to do this as well, because you can use actually two 2-liter bottles right here. Now, some of you guys have seen us do this in schools. This is a really fun one. I love this one because it really makes the tornado pop. Pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to also get a little bit of food coloring, because with food coloring, we're able to see it a little bit better. And I'll use green because I love green. So we'll put a little drop of some food coloring here. And I also want to put a little bit of effervescent glitter here. So it's going to be super cool looking. We'll just tap a few sprinkles in here. Okay. And we're going to use this for another experiment too. All it is just a little bit of glitter. So I'll put that at the next experiment. Now, I also want to have a little debris. So when we see tornadoes on the ground, and that is what a tornado is, it has to make it to the ground, we have what's called a debris cloud on radar that we can see. And that's because the tornado is hitting stuff on the ground. Perhaps it's going through a farm field, and we can see things flying up in the air, right? So we're going to put in some sparkly glitter here. So put this in here. Okay. Now, I do have this tornado tube, and you can get these at Hobby Lobby, at Michael's. You could get it at Walmart, places like that. You can also order it online. It's just a tornado tube. Or you can use duct tape and take these two items and put them together, taping them together. It will leak a little bit on you, so if you are doing that, just be aware of that. I'm going to use the tornado tube since I have one. Screw it on one end, on the end that actually has the food coloring in it. It's not mixed up yet, so it looks pretty plain, right? Then we take the other one and put it on top. Just screws on. Tighten it up. Yep, just like that, just like that. And then we're going to take it around. We're going to shake it around. Here it goes. Whoa. Check it out. How cool is that? Love it. Tornado. It's a vortex. So we have vortices that form during severe weather. Basically, when we have hot weather and then a cold air that starts to push in can cause these vortices or a little rotation at the surface, and then they get sucked up into the air and it forms that rotation. I'm going to do it one more time here so you can really see it again because it's so cool. Let this finish up real quick. All right, here we go. Oh, wow, that is so awesome. All right, so it's rotating. It's that rotating column of air that is going from the top of the thunderstorm all the way down to the ground. I should say the bottom of the cloud. But look at how that vortex just continues to spin. We have gravity pulling it down as well. It's that when that cold air and hot air meet up, and we have very unstable air at the surface. So very cool. Again, you can use just a regular duct tape for this one as well. Okay, let's try another experiment. Slide this one out of the way. All right, how you guys doing? Thank you so much for being with us today. This is awesome. I love doing these kind of fun things. I love crafts anyway, so these are really fun crafts because it makes you even smarter for learning, right? This one is my favorite one, I have to say, because it's a rainbow. And I love rainbows because when I was a kid, that was really what got me interested in weather because I just thought they were so beautiful. Have you seen a rainbow? They're so pretty. We have different colors that make up the rainbow. But part of this experiment is also going to demonstrate clouds and rain, okay? So we'll go ahead and show with this one. This is the rainbow experiment. And we'll show what you need on this one as well, because this one has a lot of little moving parts to it as well. You need a glass or a jar, some shaving cream, and not the shaving gel, because I did make that mistake. You need gel, some food coloring, some little cups and bowls, and some eyedroppers, a spoon if you want. You don't have to if you have the eyedroppers. And then some paper towels and water. Okay, so I am going to fill up my jar, so stand by with some water. And this one's cold water. Okay, so we have to have some cold water. I just put cold water in my jar. So this is my experiment for this one. So I've got a little cool water here, and then we're going to take some shaving cream. So I'm going to give it a shake, make sure that it's ready to go. Now, yesterday when I was practicing this, I put too much of this in. So Mom and Dad, don't overdo it. It'll take a long time to get the rain to fall if you do. But this is a lot of fun for the entire family. Everybody can take one of these bowls. We have red. I have yellow. The next color in would be green. And then blue. Pretty, huh? So we're going to make up our rainbow. But what we first do is take the shaving cream and then put a little bit on top of the water here. Okay, you probably couldn't see me do that very well. So there's my cloud, the bottom of in the middle of my jar. So we've got the cloud forming there. And then we're going to take each color. I'm going to tilt this down so hopefully you can see my table here. And then we're just going to keep adding colors to our rainbow. So we'll start off with red, and we'll start at the very end here because it's Roy G. Biv. So we have red, orange, yellow. So yellow is next. So what we're watching out for is it's already starting to rain a little bit. Can you see some of the red falling through? I'll go through all the colors and we'll go through it in just a moment. So putting yellow in. Now let's switch to some green. So I'm just gently dabbing it in here, and everybody can take a turn. So if you have 4 people in your family, 6 people in your family, you can make up all different colors here. So we're just adding this and making cool rainbow colors. When I was your age, I actually made, and your mom and dad will laugh at this, but I did a latch hook rainbow, and I also did a cross stitch rainbow. And they were hanging in my room when I was a kid because I just love rainbows. All the pretty colors, they're so pretty. Okay, so we're already starting to see a little bit of our rain falling, okay? I'm gonna put my black sheet behind this so you can see it a little better. Maybe not black. Let's try the white sheet then. Starting to see the clouds getting a little bit of heavier moisture, okay? So the colors are going to be the form of the rain, of the actual rain. So once this cloud gets so heavy with moisture, then we're going to see this starting to fall as rain, and it's so pretty. So we just keep dabbing this in with the red. I'll quickly put in some yellow again. Oh, it's getting so pretty, guys. So once the cloud starts to fill up with lots of moisture, it starts to just, basically what this is doing, it's leaking because it's getting so heavy, so saturated with moisture that it has to go somewhere, right? It has to leave the cloud. And that is what's happening here. So we just keep adding on. So the backside of this cloud is actually not nearly, is actually much thicker, so it's not falling yet as rain with the blues, but we'll see if we, there we go. So we just keep dabbing it in. Okay, let's take another look. Yes, so pretty. Now the red is starting to fall. Can you guys see that? So the rain is starting to fall on one side of the glass, and that's because that cloud is saturated. That's what happens in our atmosphere when the clouds just get so heavy up above, they have to fall, and it forms in the form of rain in this case because it's just too warm for any kind of snowflake to form. But in this case, that cloud is so heavy that water has to fall out of the cloud because the cloud is swelling up and the rain begins to fall. Isn't that so cool? I love that. All right, we're gonna move on to another experiment. This is also a really cool one, and this is our last experiment, okay? So I'm gonna slide this one out of the way. There's not a good way to do this when you're trying to do 5 experiments. All right, so stand by. I'll go ahead and let you guys put up what we need to make a snowstorm in a jar. Okay, so we need a 16-ounce or larger mason jar. We need some baby oil and that iridescent glitter that I mentioned about already. We need some white paint and some Alka-Seltzer. Okay, so this is another fun one. I'm going to slide my materials on over here. Okay, guys, we have our mason jar. Now, I've already filled this up with some of our chemicals, so we didn't have to waste too much time going through all of the processes, but we add baby oil, and I just bought it from Meijer. It's not super expensive, and I ended up using all 14 ounces. You don't have to use all of it, but I wanted to really make it cool inside this larger jar, so mine's a little bit larger than 16 ounces. I'll put this down for a moment. We also have water, and you need acrylic paint, okay, Mom and Dad, because the acrylic paint won't stick. If you have oil-based paint, then it's going to stick to the baby oil. So we want it to be acrylic, white, because we're making a cloud and a snowstorm. And so I already just put a little drop in here with some water. So we already have a little bit of this mixture. So I dumped the oil inside of the mason jar. And then I already put this inside of my mason jar as well. And then I also put a little bit of the iridescent glitter. It doesn't have to be very much, but just enough to kind of spice it up a little bit, okay? So you can see the oil is on top, and then we have the cloud portion down at the bottom because that's heavier. Oil is lighter. And then here comes the cool part. Alka-Seltzer, and I just bought a generic brand from Meijer. No big deal. It's a little cheaper that way if you want to do this. And you can do this one over and over and over again with your jar. So I'm going to take my lid off, and I'm going to turn this down a little bit so you can see my experiment. All right, so hold on a second. Sorry about that. My papers fell on the ground. All right, so we have these Alka-Seltzers. We're just going to break them up into pieces like this. They make a little bit of a mess at first, but that's why I'm using towels, just to kind of keep everything nice and neat. Again, this was what I just used. It's just generic Alka-Seltzer from Meyer. All right, so here comes the cool part. What we're going to do is I'm going to have my black paper ready so that you guys can see this. And then we're just going to drop these in, and you're going to see a snowstorm forming. Just drop them in one by one. Oh, wow. Check it out. Woo, look at that snowstorm. That is so awesome. So what we have going on is a little bit of carbon dioxide happening that is carrying some of the water and the paint mixture up to the top. And since the oil and the water don't mix, it's causing these bubbles, which is so cool. And so you can still see it's still going. It looks like a blizzard, yes? Look at that. It's a little foggy probably for you guys, but if you do this one at home, you're going to see it even better because it's pretty awesome. All right. One more, just for the fun of it. Woo, that one splashed. Very, very cool. So we have the snowstorm that's forming in there. When we mix the Alka-Seltzer, we have the bubbles of the carbon dioxide. They rise to the surface through the oil. Super awesome. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put this one down, and we're gonna go ahead and move on. So I believe we have some questions that we're gonna go through here. And what's next on our PowerPoint? All right, so we're gonna first talk about how we bring you the weather. Now, of course, right now with our stay-at-home order, we're doing some different things right now. So we're actually broadcasting from home. But if we have severe weather, we are definitely going to be in the studio with you to keep you informed. Now, you can see Angela there. She is on her phone as well. She is checking the chat room from the National Weather Service, where they actually bring us the latest that is happening at the surface from their storm spotters and their emergency managers. You can see Sean in the background. He's actually on the air on that picture right there, and he is going through what is happening on radar. So we normally have two people working on camera, and then behind the scenes, we also are letting you know on social media, and Chuck is doing a Facebook Live on that picture to the right. So he's talking about what is happening too. Even if we just have some stronger storms, and if they're not necessarily severe weather, we are breaking it all down for you. And we also have our live Doppler mobile tracker. So that is out on the road when there is a storm situation. We go out there and check after the case or during a severe storm, and we don't get too close because we are very careful, but we do have that out and about if we have severe weather. So we try to keep everybody updated. We also have our live Doppler 13 radar app that we have, and that also has our radar as well as interactive radar. And you can see that picture on the right, that's interactive. So you can zoom in to your location and see what's happening. It also has all kinds of information on it. We update the weather blog several times a day. You can see what the current temperature is, how windy it is, and if it's raining in your location, maybe there's even a thunderstorm in your area. It will give you the heads up. If there's a tornado warning and severe thunderstorm warning, it'll give you all of that. So it's great to have the live Doppler 13 radar app. Make sure your mom and dad have that on their phone. And water conservation. This is such a biggie because we are very conscious about our water, especially right now with our stay-at-home order. We have a lot of people spending much more time at home. They're likely to be using a lot more water in their home. So some good ideas is just to be conscious of that and make sure that you're really limiting what you're doing, because less than 1% of water on Earth is available actually for drinking. And a typical person uses 80 to 100 gallons per day. That's a lot. And we want to try to limit our showers so we don't use too much water. And also drinking water, comes from lakes, rivers, and underground. You want to make sure you don't pollute those areas because that's what we are drinking. And bottled water is really expensive. So I always use my own water bottle, and I'll show you that when we start exercising, because having your bottle of water and just refilling it up is a great way to save and conserve money instead of buying those plastic water bottles, which honestly are also wasteful to the environment. They're hard on the environment. They don't break down. So using a reusable one, I use this one 100 times a day and constantly filling it up. Great idea. You can take it anywhere you want to. Okay. All right. So we have some questions from the fever, and okay, so I'm going to have to take a look at those again.
Now here's a real slam dunk. What does the weather have to do with potholes?
Okay, that's a great question, Natalie. So we actually see the air temperature around 30 degrees, 32, the freezing mark. When it goes up and below, it actually causes the expansion and contraction of the concrete. So this is stepping us through. So then when it does rain, it causes those cracks to get even bigger. And then we have the pooling that happens underneath the surface, and then it pushes that up when it refreezes. And we have those, and we've actually still had it even in the month of April, where we've had these above freezing and below freezing, and it causes that pothole to break down. Great question.
When the fever hit the court, we hit like a fast-moving tornado. Do you know what they call a tornado that's over water?
Yeah, great question. Okay, so that is actually called a water spout. And remember, we have this tornado. This could also be demonstrated as a water spout. It's the same idea. It just happens over water. We still have a little bit of that vortice action that's happening. And then it just takes that water and wraps it up into the cloud, the low part of the cloud, and we have that tornado forming. And in this case, this one's called a water spout. Great question.
You know, our colors are fever red, blue, and gold. But have you ever wondered why clouds are white?
I love the fever's colors. They're so awesome. Go Fever. Well, okay, so we did a lot of cloud stuff today, right? We saw the cloud coming out of the bottle. We also had our rainbow cloud. So this one actually has several different colors, but typically they're just white. And that is because the sun is going through those clouds, and we have a lot of particulates in those clouds. And in the case that we did with the cloud in the jar, that one had a little bit of dust as well as the smoke. And that causes those clouds to form. And then it takes that light from the sun and refracts it, and it causes it to look white. Great question. All right, are you guys ready to do some exercising? I'm going to move so you guys can keep the slide up here. And I'm going to move into the other portion of the house. So I have some space. Hey, Paul, will you move that, please? That. Okay. All right, guys. Sorry, we have 2 new kittens coming to our house pretty soon, so we got a new cat tree. All right, so I want to make sure that you guys can see me. I'm going to step back here. Hopefully you can hear me okay, but you're going to see my feet. So I want you to move with your feet, and then you can get the arms in later. But I'm going to break this down for you so that you can actually dance with me, okay? So let's go ahead and we'll start with our warm-up song. Turn around. 2 steps. 2 steps. Get low. Bring it back up. 2 steps. 2 steps. Get low. Now freeze. Now we're going to just march out. Shuffle and use your arms. And freeze. Now come to me. Hold it here. Good job. Then we take it back. Nice job. We're cooling down. Bring it up again. Arms up. Take it back. Hot. Now. go right to the top. Everybody clap your hands. Turn around. 2 steps. Other way. Get low. Get low. Bring it back up. Go to the right. Get low.
Freeze.
Shuffle.
Now shuffle, 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 shuffle. Now shuffle, shuffle.
That's it, just like that. You got it. Now freeze.
Freeze.
Come to me. We're cooling it off. Pop it out. We're warming up. Come forward. Arms up. Take it back. Pop it out. Come again. Arms up. Cool it off. Pop it out. Now. Keep going. Clap it out. All right, I'm gonna have to do something with my phone because you guys can't hear my music even though I have it on Do Not Disturb. I am assuming you do not hear me very well. Okay, keep popping it out. I'm asking them to stop texting. Arms up. All right, now we're acting like a robot. Now, freeze. Whatever you want. Nice job, guys. All right, sorry for the interruptions. Hopefully the texting will stop on my phone. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. All right, do you know how to act like a penguin? This is a penguin song, so we are going to act like a penguin. So let me see you do your penguins. So this is a penguin, okay?
So when I say freeze, you
All right,
freeze,
so
okay?
it also talks about freezing, right? So we're gonna do a hold here, and then we're gonna circle around, and then we're gonna do it again. Can you do that with me? All right, let's try it with the music. I'm gonna turn it up so you can hear it. Now circle around. Do it again. Circle around. Again. Just like that. You got it.
So when I
Circle
say
around.
freeze, you freeze.
Now shoulders.
Here we go.
Now, this part, we are just going to come up and do this, and then we take it back, and then we're going to say Zumba, Zumba. Then you're going to come forward again, and then go back, and then you're going to say Zumba, 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 Zumba. You got it? Let's try it from the top. Here we go. Penguins. Take it around. Do it again, penguins. Now, if you want, you can turn. Circle around. Do it again.
Today we're gonna play a game called the freezer. So when
Circle
I
around.
say freeze, you freeze, okay?
Shoulders. All right, come to me. Arms up. Take it back. We're going to say Zumba, Zumba. Zumba, Zumba. Come to me. Take it back. Now, pump it up. Zumba, 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 Zumba. All right. Do you hear that? Yo, yo. So they're saying, yo, yo, everybody get low. So I need you to go, yo, yo, everybody get low. Yo, yo, everybody get low. Yo, yo, everybody get low. Cool? All right, let's try it. All right, all the way from the top. Penguins! When I say freeze, you say what? So we're going to go, when I say freeze, you say what? When I say freeze, you say what? Freeze what? Freeze what? Cool? All right, let's try that. See if I can back it up a little bit.
Freeze what? Freeze what? Y ahora que la tengo, que tenemos que completo. Una peluca también con su balsame. Y ahora que la fiesta tengo.
Yeah. So you pretty much know it now, but we're just going to add on to this. We'll take it from the top. Are you ready? Here we go. Penguins. Circle around. Do it again. Circle around.
Hey kids, today we're gonna play a game called the freezer. So when I say
Circles.
you
Shoulders.
okay.
Walk it up.
The freezer.
Take it back. Let me hear it. Zumba. Zumba. You got it. You're awesome. Let me hear it. Zumba, zumba, zumba. Zumba, 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 zumba. Yo, yo, everybody get low. Yo, yo. Do it again. Yo, yo. Yo, yo. All right. Now we're going to do that freeze part, right? We go, when I say freeze, you say what? Okay, ready? Here we go.
When I say freeze, you say what?
When I say freeze, you say what? When I say freeze, you say what? Faster. All right, now we're just going to touch through. Give me single, single, then two on the other side. Two singles, just like that. Stay with it. Woo! You got it. All right, we're going to just stomp it out. Punch it out. Here comes the one. So walk up to me with the Zumba Zumba. Here we go. Take it back. You got it. You know this now. Zumba. Zumba. Arms up. Take it back. Zumba. Zumba. Okay, now we're going to freeze on this next part. You ready?
Time to play. So let's
Play the freezer game. Freeze. 1, 2, 3. Do whatever you want. Go the other way.
1, 2,
Freeze.
freeze.
Now, penguin. You know the penguin part. You got it. That's it. Woo! I love it. You guys are doing so good. Stomp it out. Stomp it out.
Keep up with the rules and it's gonna be okay. We're bringing you entertainment with no delay. Come on, super
Punch it out.
take it away. Freezer is the most.
We're going to go back to the yo-yo part.
And it's gonna be okay. We're bringing you entertainment with no delay. Come on, super Tommy, come
Here we go. Yo, yo.
Everybody get low.
Yo, yo. Come to me. Ready? Walk to me.
Go.
Take it back. Let me hear it. Zumba. Zumba. That is it. You did the whole song. All right, now we're also going to play another freezer game with the next song. When we play the song and it pauses, I need you to stop moving and freeze. Do whatever you want. Here we go. So you're dancing or walking, running, whatever you want to do. Woo! Yeah. Don't move.
Oh, sí.
Dance.
Entonces hagan el corito que dice: Pollito chicken, quieren bailar gozando aquí.
Don't move.
Los niños con las palmas
Music goes, dance.
y
There goes my
moviendo la
husband.
colita. Baila, baila. Esta fiesta está sabrosa. La niñez es hermosa. Esto es nuevo, es otra cosa. Así que brinca.
Don't move a muscle.
niños están brincando, la fiesta se está.
How you doing?
La gente ya está
Bailando, gozando,
sí. Sigan bailando, que bailar yo quiero, mueve la colita. Los niños van a bailar, sigan bailando, que bailar yo quiero, mueve la colita. Los niños van a bailar, para que brinquen, para que bailen, para los niños aquí les va esta canción con cariño, el futuro de la nación, con emoción. Les dedico esta canción. Batman y Robin traen un bizcocho, viene King con la chilindrina y el chavo del 8. I love you, you love me. Zumba aquí, otra vez se prepara, sigue dando alegría, pero
Are you
nunca se para.
dancing?
Esta vez con los niños cara a cara, un rato de alegría se dispara, canto y baile. Cariño, antes de ser grande,
Nice
yo también
job,
fui niño
guys.
mentiroso, pero siempre es así, quieren a papi y a mami. Sigan bailando,
You guys did so
que
good.
bailar yo quiero.
All right, we're gonna take it all the way from the top of our new song you just learned. You know it now. So I'm gonna put the phone down and we're gonna go through it, okay? And you're gonna act like penguins, remember? Circle around. Do it again. Circle around.
Hey kids, today we're gonna play a
Smile.
freezer. So when I
Circle
say
around.
freeze, you freeze.
Shoulders. Coming. Take it back. Zumba. Zumba. Take it back. Zumba, 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 zumba. Everybody get low. Yo, yo. Yo, yo. Yo, yo. All right.
Este es un juego que se llama congelado. Cuando lo escuches tienes que estar.
All right, remember the freezer part. When I say freeze, you say what?
When I say freeze, you say what? When I say freeze, you say
Faster.
freeze what? Freeze what?
Now, we chug it out.
Y ahora que la fiesta llegó, y tenemos que empezó. Únete a nosotros que con Zumba
Keep it going.
Y ahora que la fiesta llegó, y tenemos que empezó.
All right, we're gonna do that stomp and punch.
There is one simple rule.
You got it. You're gonna go back
Very
into the walk to me.
freeze, freeze.
Walk to me. Take it back. Let me hear it. Zumba. Zumba. Take it back. Zumba, 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 zumba. Okay, okay. Here comes the freeze part. You know it. Are you ready? We're playing the freezer game. Walk. 3, 2, 1.
Freeze!
Go again.
1, 2, 3, freeze!
Now, penguin. Yeah, your penguin is awesome. Keep it going. Woo! Give me a high five. Nice job. All right, stomp it out again.
Crazy came to play. Keep up with the rules and it's gonna be okay.
And some punches.
Entertainment with no delay. Come on,
Here comes the yo-yo part.
Freeze the most crazy game to play. Keep
Yo,
up with the
yo.
rules and it's gonna be okay. We're
Yo,
entertainment
yo.
with no delay.
Yo, yo. Yo, yo.
Everybody get low.
Yo.
Here we go.
All right, we walk it up. Here we go. Come to me.
Go. Freeze.
Take it back.
Freeze. Playing the freezer.
Zumba. Zumba. Take it back. You guys did so good. Zumba, 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 zumba. All right. Woo! Well done, guys. All right, we'll go ahead and stretch it out. I'm hot and sweating. How about you guys? Sit down a little bit. How'd you do? I know you did awesome. So good. All right, we're just going to stretch it out. So I want you to lunge right and left. So we're going to take it down and then switch sides. Good job. Just like that. The stretch we do it at the very end because we want to get all those tight muscles stretched back out again. And if you don't stretch out, well, then you end up feeling sore the next day. So this is the most important part of class. We're going to hold it here. So lean into it. Nice job. Very good. Okay, go ahead and push out of that. And we're just going to press that back heel into the floor. Lean over. Good job. All right, lift up your chest. We're going to press your heel into the floor and then lean down. Woo! Very good, you guys. All right, bring it back up again. We switch sides. Go ahead and lower on down. Good job. Bring it back up. Now press your heel into the floor. Lean over a little bit so you're feeling a stretch to your calf muscle. Those are your calf muscles back here. Right through there. Okay, lift up your chest, and then we bring it in, and then press your heel into the floor and lean down. So you're popping the toes up. Bring it back to the center, and then roll it up. Good job. All right, inhale up. And then we're going to grab your elbow, push it back behind you. Great job. You guys are so good. Thank you so much for dancing with me today. We got a good workout in, didn't we? So fun. Inhale up. We learned a lot of science today about the weather. So next time you're outside, hopefully in a little bit today, because it's going to be nice at times. We have some storms too. But look up to the sky. Watch the clouds. Watch the rainfall. And think about how those clouds are filling up with all kinds of water vapor, and then they become water droplets as they condense and then fall to the ground. Let go. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale all the way out. One more time. Inhale up. All the way out. You guys were so good. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really, really appreciate it. Give me a fist bump. Boom. Well done. Great job, guys.